The front with Mark Cavendish. A proud moment I can imagine for Cavendish, knowing that a year ago he won the world title. A lot of smiles between those two riders. In that British team today, Stephen Cummings, Alex Dowsett, Luke Rowe, Ian Stannard, Ben Swift, Brad Wiggins we've mentioned, Mark Cavendish, and one rider who many people are mentioning as a possible winner of this World Championship. And to be honest, as a British commentator and knowing all these riders very well, if he pulled this off, it would be the biggest shock of the last decade. John Tiernan Locke, who rides for the Continental team of Enduro Racing, but has won this year Hot VAR, Tour of the Med, just won the Tour of Britain. But if he was up there, and there he is just behind Alex Dowsett, if he was up here at the finish and he beat Valverde and everybody else, it would be a massive shock. Circuit in Geelong, and actually almost lapped the field. We are heading now towards the start. It's not always that you get to see the first rollout of any race. 200 metres now till the start. And then what is good about the World Championships is we get the chance to actually see what happens at the start of a race. And we hear often that there are massive attacks. It's very, very fast. When you look at a stage of the Tour de France, for example, it is normally fast, fast, fast until the right combination of riders goes. And Radio Tour now saying that this race is about to be started. 267 kilometres, 207 riders, and here we go. The official start now of the World Championship Road Race 2012. And immediately we have the first attack of the day. Two riders making their way off the front, looking to get their time in the lead. And the professional rider from Kaharal off the front, one rider from Azerbaijan immediately going with the move. A little bit of a headwind as we get started. And the Azerbaijan rider is Asadov, wearing number 203. A couple more riders just joining in on the attack. And nations who have got only one rider will obviously have to just track around. Mark Cavendish immediately on the front, looking to bring things back together. So the world champion doing a team role today, and he has said he's looking forward to riding for John Tiernan Locke. I wonder whether they will be riding for Stephen Cummings today, who won that stage of the Vuelta a España. Just to run through some of the other teams, let's run through the Australian team then, with Simon Clark, the King of the Mountains in the Vuelta a España. Alan Davis, bronze medalist in 2010. They've got a really strong team here. Adam Hansen, who is the 32nd rider to complete 3 Grand Tours in a year. Simon Gerrans, the winner of Milano San Remo, been on form recently. Heinrich Hausler, who has just signed for a new team, I Am Swiss. Attack at the front here for Bert Lindemann of the Netherlands. A few more bits of stretching going on here. Cavendish looks around to see what's going on. And this rider continuing with the attack at the front. And another Dutch rider. Obviously, because we're in the Netherlands, the Dutch riders are going to want to get right in every single move there is going. As we see the attack from the United States of America, and that is Alex Howes at the front of this race now in the Stars and Stripes of the USA. fast pace already, as you can see. And this is exactly what happens at the start of the big pro bike races. Constant attacks as everyone looks around. They want to make sure they get in the right move. France represented towards the front as well. Just to update you, and I'll keep you updated a little bit, the junior race is going on. They're approaching the 80-kilometre point. They haven't actually got that far to go. Leaders, just to recap for you: Valeri Butts on the right-hand side, Daria Cataldo on the left-hand side for Italy, Howes and Duggan of the United States of America. To all of you for joining me for these World Road Race Championships, as things settle down now and the 11 riders continue with their workload. Thanks very much for your messages, really appreciate them, as we get to the first hour and a half of what is going to be a long race today. 267 kilometres of racing. The next climb on the horizon is the Puttberg, and that is coming up at 65 kilometres. We're not too far away. We're heading towards that now. And the Russian rider at the back is Isaichev, just glancing across. He looks pretty comfortable. Number 57 making his way up towards the front is Tim Duggan. The other rider who rides for Garmin Sharp is Howes, who is towards the front as well. And the Slovenian rider wearing 116 is Mejdek. Slovenia with the lime green, white and blue kit. Lastras policing this for the later moves, I'm sure, of in particular Rodriguez and Valverde. The Ukrainian rider at the front, Valeri Butts, rides, I think, for Caja Rural. He does. Number 145 there at the back is Valeri Butts. As the peloton look like they have settled down a little now. So we're hearing a few punctures at the back of this peloton now. As you can see, though, the crowds are massive today. Mark Cavendish still on the front of the group. The gap now grows again to 4 minutes and 38 seconds, as you can see. Lastras is the Spanish rider on the back of the group, as three British riders sit at the front: Mark Cavendish, Ian Stannard, Alex Dowsett. Stannard has done so many kilometres of racing this year. Cavendish has a shout to the motorbike. They have got a little bit close at times on some of these corners. 200 kilometres to go. There's a welcome sign. Pretty windy up here as Tim Duggan of the United States of America sits on the back of the group, racing past the Stars and Stripes flag. Jerome Corpel of Sauer Sojasun. Corpel has just ridden a Tour of Britain. Strong rider. Pretty windy, but these riders are not hanging around, are they? The 22-year-old winner Anacona is the Colombian rider who's in this group. Interesting story about him is that his father was a big fan of Peter Winnen, who rode for the TI Rally team back in the 70s. And his father went to register Winner Anacona as when he was born. He wanted to call him Winnen. He got the spelling wrong, and ever since he's been called Winner. So he was supposed to be named after his favourite bike rider, Peter Winnen. Unfortunately, he ended up as Winner Anacona, which of course is a great name for a bike rider. Mark Cavendish on the front of the group. Thomas Volkler sitting towards the front now. Belarus also represented towards the front of this race with, I think it's Kuczynski who's sitting towards the front. The Moldovan, who we've seen a few times so far, just tucked in on the wheel, staying out of any trouble. Mark Cavendish putting in a massive training ride today. Haven't seen him ever do this amount of work on the front of a peloton. Normally he is the rider who sits on the wheels, powers out, takes the win. Today he's pretty much done the first 70 Ks on the front of the peloton. But who says Cavendish can't climb? I can imagine he, last night in the hotel, as we go down this descent, the British riders went onto the Sky bus, which was parked in our car park. They all went on there, had a team meeting for half an hour, led by Rod Ellingworth, and also Sean Yates was on there. They obviously agreed what the plan was. They came out in little groups, Cavendish with Tin and Locke and Alex Dowsett. Brad Wiggins was left on the bus for a little while with Chris Froome. They then left. But they went on there. They obviously agreed what the plan was going to be. And they obviously agreed that at some point they were going to ride pretty much on the front of this peloton. Maybe they have something in mind. The rider wearing number 201 there is, of course, the Irish rider we saw crash earlier on, Ronan McLaughlin, one of the lesser-known riders in this Irish team. Only 3 riders selected. Dan Martin of Garmin Sharp, who's extended his contract, and Nicholas Roach, who's just fresh, if fresh is the right word, out of the Vuelta a España. So just to remind you, 106 kilometres of racing to the circuit, 10 laps of 16 kilometres is what the riders then face. Thanks very much for your messages. I know some of you have sent some tweets. Some are more interesting than others, but all are being read and all are giving me some insights. Thank you very much to all of you for taking the time to join me and see how this race unfolds over the entire 267 kilometres of racing. Of course, for Liquigas Cannondale, which will be called Cannondale Racing from next season. They're taking over the title sponsorship of the Italian squad. Back of the team cars. Tim Duggan will be moving from memory to the team of Spider Tech for 2013. He comes from Boulder in Colorado, ridden for Liquigas for the last 2 seasons. He is previously a member of the Garmin squad. But Great Britain all on the front of the group. A similar picture to what we saw in Copenhagen last year, a blaze of red, white and blue on the front of this group. They're doing an awful lot of work, considering that they don't have in their mind an overall winner for this race, unless they are firmly believing that John Tiernan Locke can win this world title, which, as I have said before, it would be a complete and utter shock. Back to the front with a Saishev in his aero tuck. Tim Duggan, who is the national champion of the United States of America. If you look at his bike, it's got all the stars and stripes on it. But the peloton now led by the entire Great Britain team, apart from Ian Stannard, followed by the team of France, followed by various different squads. There is the... oh, that's a magnificent train. If you're a train spotter, now is the time to not turn away. The steam train there on the top of the road takes us back to some ancient times. He's even going to blow his whistle for the peloton. Been watching for the last few days, and I hope you have. You'll now realise that the riders are on the road that goes along the top, and then they go plunging down faster descent. Mike Sayers is the team director in the car with Tim Duggan. Sayers looks after the BMC team. They're going to go along the top, and then, Sophie, they go plunging down this descent. The riders will do 75 to 80 k's an hour. Then they turn left into the descent of at the bottom of the descent onto the Kalberg. Lastra's just stretching a little, taking his both feet out the pedals, and you've been staying down at the bottom of the Kalberg with the atmosphere. They're going to hit it in about 2 minutes' time. What is the atmosphere down there like?
It's amazing, and it's been getting bigger and better every day of the competition. I think last night at 8 o'clock it was like Melbourne on New Year's Eve. It was insane. And I actually asked a waiter at dinner, I said, is it normally like this? And he said no, and he's actually quite scared about what the crowds would be like today. Because once they're there, they don't leave. They're there to watch a race and they're there to party.
So Melbourne on New Year's Eve is pretty much the place to be. All right, we're racing down the descent now. We'll guide you through here, then we'll get Sophie's views on the rest of the Australian team, and then what might happen in the rest of this race. But we are about to hit the Kalberg for the first time with the leading group of 11 riders. They've done the lead out to the course. Here we are, we turn over this speed bump left, and then as the camera pans back, look at this. There are people everywhere. The atmosphere is incredible. It is a little bit alcohol fueled. The bars have been busy. The atmosphere has been growing. There are people from all over the world here. And as we hit the climb, you can just see there is no space to stand. There is no place to watch. Every single vantage point on the Kalberg is taken. They're going to go up here. They're going to go through the finish line for the first time, and then they will have 10 laps of 16.1 kilometres to go. The rider on the front, the unusually named winner, Anacona, as we mentioned earlier, his dad wanted to call him and name him after Peter Winnen, and he got his name wrong on the birth certificate, and they call him winner. But maybe he'll be a winner today, you never know. But look at that, the Kalberg has got an incredible amount of people on it as these riders hit it for the first time. Then you'll be able to see the run in this 1.7 kilometres, which is maybe why the punchy riders like Rodriguez, John Tiernan Locke, other riders like Valverde may not win, because it's 1.7 kilometres from the top to the finish line. But the atmosphere for the rest of this race is going to be absolutely incredible. You said it was like Melbourne on New Year's Eve. There isn't anywhere to stand, is there? This is pretty amazing.
No, and they don't leave either. They're there for the whole race, after the race, and then some. There are a lot of Belgian fans on the Coburg early this morning, and all of them actually took Mbona, not Philippe Gilbert, who is one of my picks. So it was a fair bit of support for that national team there.
So the Australians then, they're obviously all riding for Gerrans. They've all bought into the plan of riding for him today, or is there anyone you think might be an outsider that, if things don't go quite right, might be there?
I understand that it's all for Gerrans and he's their best shot at a medal, and I think they'll put all of their resources behind him. And they've actually got quite a strong team here at full quota, which I guess the nation is almost used to now. But you've got Simon Clark there, who's in good form. He won stage at the Vuelta recently. Alan Davis, Adam Hansen, who actually should mention, has raced all 3 Grand Tours.
Yeah, amazing.
This season, as we've been talking about here during the week. And Wesley Solsberger from Tasmania, he actually substituted Michael Rogers, who had to withdraw from illness. And Rogers actually tweeted this morning, this is the first time in 14 years he's missed a World Championship.
Really? Wow. That's some bit of history.
A strong team, and as I said, a mix of youth and experience there. Michael Matthews is another one. He's joining the Orica Green Edge squad next season, and he's a handy sort of classics rider as well. He can sprint, but not a pure sprinter.
So the riders now will guide them through the line. Then I'm going to ask you, before you leave, for your tip of the day. But we'll guide these riders through the finish line first for the first time. Great Britain all on the front with one Belgian rider joining in the chase. Mark Cavendish is going to lead the peloton onto the circuit as the defending world champion. I think it's safe to say that Cavendish will not defend his title. He is doing all the work on the front for Great Britain today, with a team of Steve Cummings, Dowsett, Froome, Rowe, Stannard, Swift, Tiernan Locke and Brad Wiggins. Have they got a plan? Have they been bluffing? Is it all about Brad Wiggins winning the World Championship? Do they believe in John Tiernan Locke? Right, for the first time then, the 11 leaders, led by Tim Duggan, winner Anacona, Alex Howes, Dario Cataldo. The first 4 riders there at the front of this group are heading towards the finish line to enter the circuit properly. They will then glance across and they will see 10 laps of racing to go. 160 odd kilometres left in this race, and Lastras is the rider who really pressed on with this breakaway. 2 hours 27 minutes is approaching. The fans are enjoying this. They get to see the riders for the first time, and it is now 10 laps to go as the Uruguayan rider Ferrari was the first rider across the line, and then we'll see what the time gap is to the rest of the peloton. So they're going to go across here through the feed, which is a little bit risky, a little bit dangerous. The peloton flying their way down the descent. You can see the pace is pretty rapid. And let's put you on the spot then, Sophie. Who is going to win the World Championship?
You know what, I've actually said Gilbert since February because he earmarked his massive goal there and just had that sound that he really wanted to win it. But I'm definitely, as I said before, would be surprised if Gerrans isn't on the podium as well.
So you think it's going to be Gilbert?
I think it's going to be Gilbert.
You think it's going to be Gilbert. Just saw the Chilean rider puncture on that descent at about 75 k's an hour as the Great Britain riders lead onto the climb of the Cowberg. You've got to be really careful, haven't you? Gerrans has got to ride near the front all the time now because this circuit's fast and you hit the Cowberg so often. It's around within 20 minutes a lap.
It is, and it is a fast circuit. That's what we've heard from everyone that's raced it so far. There's an area around the back that could possibly be exposed. But apart from that, the roads are very smooth, so positioning will be important here.
Well, it's a magnificent sight, isn't it?
It is.
Goosebumps. Pretty exciting. Leading group race down the Cowberg in the rain now. And this is going to really change the race. The gaps are starting to shut. Onto the Cowberg again as the leading group of 11 riders try to stay away. Smokeless accelerates up the climb. This time at the finish line, they'll be shown 5 laps of racing to go. Through the rain for the Latvian time trial champion, Smokeless. The gap on the climb now is 12 seconds. So we are going to see the 2 leading groups come together. And I think then we'll see some fireworks. Smokeless accelerating at the front of this race. Looks easy, but the peloton now hit the bottom of the Cowberg, which means that the contenders are bringing this race back together at the perfect time. Belgium lead, the Netherlands, Great Britain, the United States of America. Chris Horner now has taken his leg warmers off with 5 laps to go. This is going to be an exciting race. This is the chasing group, the leading group, working their way up the climb, followed by the chasers on the steep section, led by Shah Fuglsang, Juan Antonio Fleischer, Maxime Bouet, Stephen Cummings, Michael Matthews, Nocentini. But behind them, this is where the race is. Alberto Contador going with John Tiernan Locke. This is an incredible move as John Tiernan Locke tracks Alberto Contador up the climb. What a move. Behind them, the Tour de France winner, Bradley Wiggins, has blown. He's had enough. Great Britain have done what they can do for the young British rider, John Tiernan Locke. And now they're going to leave him to see if he can contend with Alberto Contador, the winner of the Vuelta a España. It's an incredible run-in. Stephen Cummings has done the work that he needed to do, which was to go in the breakaway and wait for Tiernan Locke to go when he had to. So at the front now, Alberto Contador attacks with John Tiernan Locke. This is absolutely incredible. Now we've got Vogler going as well. Brad Wiggins looking here. He's had enough. He's got 5 laps to go. He's going to retire. And at the front of this race, while it ignites, Smokeless leads. This race is all about to explode. Smokeless has had the doctor today, and he's holding his stomach. Froome is now dropped at the back of the race as well. Radio Tour telling us that this race is exploding. Wiggins has gone. Froome has now gone as well. But at the front, it's the winner of the Vuelta a España who is igniting this race. Alberto Contador, John Tiernan Locke, Thomas Vogler. Froome has had enough now. It's one race too many as all the leading groups come together. But now France look around and they see Vogler with Contador, with John Tiernan Locke also up at the front. It's what an amazing race this is turning out to be. The gap now as they head towards the line. This time round, they are going to be shown 5 laps to go, and the cream has risen to the top. Contador is there, Tiernan Locke is there, Smokeless is there, Vogler is there. One Italian, which I think is Moreno Moser, is in the group as well. What a race this is turning out to be. So as they race through with 5 laps to go, it's an elite group of riders who are going away. 4 hours, 22 minutes of racing. The gap is starting to open, and it is France with Jerome Coppel of Sauer Sojusan who is leading as they go past my commentary box. To me, John Tiernan Locke looks very, very easy indeed for Great Britain. Also in the group is Michael Matthews of Australia, Stephen Cummings of Great Britain. 29 riders in the leading group. The Australians have missed this one completely. They now need to chase, as to Belgium. But Contador has made his move. The leading group is Vogler, Isaichev, Marcato, Duggan, Cummings, Lastras, Flesher, Butz, Meersman, Fumia Kobepu, Mikhail Shah, Ferrari, Contador, Kundakort, Robert Hessing, Jonathan Tiernan-Lock, Michael Matthews, Jakob Fuglsang, Alex Howes, Michael Albacini, Gatis Smoukoulis, Luka Mejdek, Nocentini, Anacona as the Olympic champion Vinokurov arrives, Diego Alisi of Italy, Bjorn Lukemans. 29 riders in the lead, the gap now 29 seconds. So the Italians are pretty happy with this. They're kicking on at the front. .78 kilometres of this World Championship to go, and Contador has put himself in the place he wanted to be. Now he's eating some lunch, just tapping over the pedals. He looks very easy. Stephen Cummings is there with Tiernan-Lock for Great Britain. Vogler is chatting away to everyone else with that familiar style, his head right in the wind. And now they are pulling each other through, these professional riders. This is what they do. You don't often see it. The little hand sling. And the plan of Laurent Jalabert to put Thomas Vogler in with a chance of winning the World Championship is coming to fruition. Contador, how easy does he look? And he's in the leading group right now of the World Championship on this course. Just to update you on people who've retired, Alex Dowsett now retires for Great Britain. Martin Velets has retired. Svein Tuff, Maurizio Muller, Misuki Atanaka, Hicham Chaban, Si Kung Lo, Amir Rusli, Alexis Saramotins, who was on the attack earlier on today, Naboso Jovanovic, and Elkin Asadov. I think we'll also see Brad Wiggins, and Chris Froome will also retire from this race now. Thanks to all of you for your messages. Thanks to everyone for your tweets as well. I can't answer them, but thank you very much. Make a difference when we're doing a commentary, which is now, what's that? Somewhere around about 4 or 5 hours old. Strass and Coppel, and I think Cataldo will just ride through and off, and they will keep this breakaway, keep going away if they possibly can. They will be quite happy with this now. They're not going to let Belgium or Australia come to the championship. You could be looking at the front group that will go all the way. On to the Bemmelenberg for the next ascent. The atmosphere on this climb is incredible now as Lastras goes up the climb with the 29 riders. So Lastras leads, Cataldo and Coppel in second and third place, Isaichev in fourth, Cummings in fifth, Tiernan-Lock in sixth, Flesher in seventh, Meersman in eighth, Beppu in ninth. Kundakort is the other rider from the Netherlands in that group. He'll be really happy with his performance. Still America, represented by Alex Howes and Tim Duggan. Jakob Fuglsang still in there for Denmark. Albacini there for Switzerland. Matthews is the sole representative of Australia. France with Thomas Vogler and Maxime Bouet And we've mentioned already, Jerome Coppel. Smouklis is still there for Latvia. He's suffering a little bit, keeps holding his stomach. Matthews now has just got to sit on. He doesn't have to do any work whatsoever. An incredible race so far. At the front of the peloton. There's been a crash in the peloton. The gap now 1 minute and 8 seconds as they climb the Bemelenberg, and one rider left at the side of the road, and that is Roman Kreuziger. Crashes. 1 minute and 8 seconds. The gap grows again, and it looks like a few more riders are at the side of the road. Roman Kreuziger, one of them. These are the riders who are actually just behind on the climb, and they're not that far. They're about 24 seconds down. Ben Swift there of Great Britain. Also in this group is, I think, Sylvain Chavanel of France, and a few other top names. Juan Antonio Fleischer, he was in there. Also in this group is Tom Jelter-Slagter. I'm surprised about that. Alberto Contador now going to the front. Is he going to pay back what he did to Rodriguez by giving him a world title? Alberto Contador lines out the rest of the peloton. And for the first time, John Tiernan Locke is not near the front of this race. The distance, I think, is starting to bite for the young British rider. But the Spaniards are all there. Contador, Valverde, Purito, Moreno, Sanchez, all at the front of the race. The Belgians all there. The Norwegians haven't touched the front all day, with Lars Petter Northug, who many people said would win this World Championship. 48 riders in that leading group as we race past the water park on the left-hand side, and the helicopter looking now for the group. Here they are. Now that's the chasing group. We don't really want to see them now. There's no point. Show us the front of the race. This is what we want to see. Oscar Freira's in here as well. So Contador is not going to be him. They are looking to use Contador up to keep the race together all the way. John Tiernan Locke moves up on the right-hand side of the screen for Great Britain. Simon Clarke looks easy to me. The fans getting pretty excited. The final lap as Simon Clarke goes to the front. At the back of the group for the United States is Talansky, who was on the attack with Stannard last time round, but now doesn't really have the legs. He cracked a little bit. Michael Albertini is there. Stannard brings Tiernan Locke to the front. Rodriguez races through to bring... They're going to go with Valverde. So Valverde is being used by Spain. The Italians move up. Here come the Australians moving Gerrans up to the front on the left-hand side. Simon Clarke looks across as Contador rests his arms on the bars. I don't know about you, but I can hardly look, and I have to because I need to commentate on the run into the finish. But 48 riders are going to go whacking down this descent to the bottom of the Cowberg, accelerate up it. One rider is going to emerge 1.7 kilometres later as the world champion. Simon Gerrans has based the second half of his season for Australia on winning this title. It's a small group now of riders who are leading this World Championship as they race towards the top of the climb for the final time. then they'll turn left, they'll go across the top there. If they look directly left, they can see the finish. The nerves must be jangling in there as Germany bring John Degenkolb to the front. They've always been thinking it was going to be a bunch sprint. I wonder whether Great Britain played the wrong card in thinking that Mark Cavendish couldn't win the sprint at the top of this climb, and they used him all the way through the beginning of this race. Stannard brings Tiernan Lock to the front to put him on the wheel of the other riders, and the only way Tiernan Lock will win this world title is to leave everybody on the final climb. Clark on the middle, Van Avermaet is still there. Stannard leads Tiernan Lock to the front. Also up there is a move of the Italians on the right-hand side as they look to take control, and they're bringing through number 23, Vincenzo Nibali, as the Spanish move through. We have a problem for Simon Clark. Looks like he's had a puncture. Simon Clark looking for the team car. It's too late now. His work is done. Nicholas Roach and Dan Martin having a chat at the back of the group. It's 5 kilometres to go now in the World Road Race Championships, as Italy maintain the front of this peloton. Australia on the left-hand side of the screen with Gerrans. Stannard looks around for Tiernan Lock. Germany with Degenkolb. Paolini looking to bring Nibali to the front. Over on the left-hand side, we see Moreno looking around to see Samuel Sanchez. And Tiernan Lock, zip undone with that familiar style of his. Albacini of Switzerland. Also towards the front is Cardoso of Portugal as they race through. Also at the front, number 46 is Lars Boom, the former world cyclocross champion, carrying the hopes of the Netherlands. He could win the sprint at the top of this climb. It's going to be an incredible run into the finish. 4 kilometres to go. Moving up on the outside is number 69, and that is Lars Petter Northug, who won in Canada just before this race, as Stannard looks to lead Tiernan Lock down the descent. He's the fastest descender in this group. Nibali is also very, very quick. As you can see Nibali in the lime green. Lars Boom moves up. This is going to be really nervous. 4 kilometres of racing to go. Here comes Tom Boonen, as we now see the Italians trying to take control of this race. Whoa, it's pretty tight in here. Whoever gets through this bottom left-hander has done pretty well. The speed is 63 kilometres an hour as Stannard looks around to see where Tiernan Lock is, who won't have been in this sort of company before, ever. One Swedish rider moving up on the outside in the blue and yellow. I'm looking to see who that will be. It will be possibly Kesiakov, as Stannard is looking for Tiernan Lock, and Tiernan Lock has the wheel again. The French with Vauclair. They're bouncing off each other almost, looking to get through this bottom left-hander onto the Kalberg. It's really tight as Nibali gets the wheel. A couple of Italians are leaning off the back now, including Nocentini, which is a bit of a surprise. In front of him is Marcato, so they're not going to win this race unless they really put in an incredible performance across the top of this climb. Right, set yourselves up. This is the final climb of the Kalberg, as we hope that all riders get through the bottom corner safely and give themselves a chance of winning the World Championship. Onto the climb now, and Vincenzo Nibali looks good. Boonen is well positioned. Basayev of Astana is also there in the turquoise and yellow. And Italy now looking to bring Nibali through. Also towards the front is Oscar Freire. Luca Paolini leading out Vincenzo Nibali, but Nibali's now going for it. Tiernan Lock moves up on the outside. Boonen and Gilbert. So Belgium are playing a couple of cards here as the accelerations start to happen. Gilbert is going with Van Avermaet. Gilbert now attacks. Gilbert going for the gold medal. He's going for gold now. Gilbert attacks on the climb. Immediately going with him is the Norwegian rider Edvald Boasson Hagen. Boasson Hagen is going with it. And And now Kolobnev goes after Philippe Gilbert. It's Gilbert, Kolobnev, Edvald Boasson-Hagen trying to get across to the rider who won 2 stages of the Vuelta a España. Gilbert, his fans are going absolutely wild. Kolobnev doesn't have it. Boasson-Hagen doesn't have it. Valverde now racing across as they go for the finish line. Norda does not have it either. 1.7 kilometres of racing to go for Philippe Gilbert, who's on a time trial to the finish line, trying to do what Marianne Vos did yesterday. Gilbert has flown from the rest of the riders. Now he's trying to compose himself. He goes right to the right-hand side of the road, going the shortest way to the finish line. Kolobnev didn't have anything left in the legs as Boasson-Hagen tries to get rid of Valverde. Valverde on the wheel of Boasson-Hagen, but Gilbert is right in front of the 1 kilometre to go point. Philippe Gilbert now powering his way towards the finish line for Belgium. Is he going to win the World Championship? He's turning his season totally on its head. He had a terrible time. He went to Spain. He won 2 stages. Here goes Valverde. Valverde now attacks. He looks around at Kolobnev, who immediately tracks him. Edvald Boasson-Hagen is just waiting, hoping that they can bring Gilbert back. 1 kilometre to go as Gilbert continues with his time trial. The man who lives not too far from here. He's just outside the border. Valverde cannot close the gap on Philippe Gilbert. He's looking around. Gilbert now can see the gantry as he keeps his hands on the drops of the handlebars. The man who last year won absolutely everything. This year he couldn't win anything, but he's going now to take the world title, but Kolobnev's giving it one last go. The TV motorbike in the way. Gilbert inside the last 500 metres. He's going absolutely wild. Philippe Gilbert with an ecstatic crowd. The man from Belgium is going to win the World Championship with an incredible attack. Boasson-Hagen is going after him as he heads now to the finish line. Philippe Gilbert of Belgium is the world champion of 2012. What a victory for Gilbert. Second place across the line is number 68, and that is, of course, Edvald Boasson-Hagen in second place. Valverde is in third place. Degenkolb in fourth. Lars Boom in fifth place. What a win for Philippe Gilbert. They didn't even mention him all day. When it mattered, the attack came and no one was able to go with him. Belgium take the World Championship.
Prenez le vélo, les gars, prenez le vélo.
Si, señor.
Oh! S'il vous plaît!
Calme,
What a finish. As they just tried to move everybody out of the way. Well, the Belgian fans are absolutely ecstatic. 6 hours, 10 minutes, 41 seconds of racing. Gilbert wins. Boasson-Hagen in second, Valverde in third, Degenkolb in fourth, Lars Boom in fifth, and Alan Davis of Australia takes sixth place in the World Road Race Championships. That is a great performance from the Australian. Volkler in seventh, and Navadauskas in eighth place, Sergio Henao in ninth, and Oscar Freire in 10th place. Just to tidy up some of the other places, Tom Boonen looks like he was 12th. This is all provisional results. Gatto of Italy in 13th, Sagan in 14th, Kessiakoff in 15th, Albacini in 17th, John Tiernan Locke of Great Britain in 19th place, Nordhaug in 20th, Simon Gerrans of Australia in 21st place.
Philippe, pour moi, Philippe, encore une fois, Philippe.
Oh.
Encore une fois, Philippe.
Allez, les gars, allez. Cette câble là. Attends, je vais passer.
Well, he thought at one time to go on the attack. Bosenhagen, well-deserved silver medal for him. Valverde in third place. Bosenhagen just could not go with the attack of Gilbert.
Philippe, pour le belge. Pour le belge.
He's making his way now to the peacefulness of the little tent next to the finish area, where he can just sit down and compose himself. There you are then, 6 hours, 10 minutes and 41 seconds. Gilbert is the world champion, ahead of Edvald Bosenhagen of Norway, with Valverde, the bronze medalist, in third. This is the climb. Vincenzo Nibali leading. Gilbert, number 31, he just sensed there was a gap. On the wheel was Bjorn Lukemans, and the minute the gap was there, he just looked round, and then it was bang, acceleration time, and he gave it full throttle. And as Gilbert says, once you go on a climb like this, you can't sit down. But the gap was left by Boonen. What a perfect bit of work, I think, by Boonen, although he looked like he didn't have the legs. Bosenhagen came round Boonen and tried to go. He couldn't go. Kolobnev tried to accelerate and couldn't shut the gap either. Philippe Gilbert wins the title he so desperately wanted. He is the world champion. Belgium will party and party tonight. What a finish. Go absolutely nuts. Just to confirm then for our Australian viewers that Alan Davis finishes 6th. He's obviously finished on the podium before. Another great performance from Alan Davis of Australia. Gerrans finished 21st. The first British finisher was John Tiernan Locke in 19th place in the world title, the first time he's ever ridden the World Championships. The hopes of France disappeared on the climb. Volkler finishes 7th place. Frere and everyone else looked to just try and put Valverde in with a shout of winning the medal. A good performance from Rui Costa in 11th place. For a small continental team from Great Britain, not even a pro-continental team, a small British team, and he finished 19th in the World Road Race Championships over a distance of 267 kilometres. Every single rider in front of him rides for a World Tour team. But Philippe Gilbert shows what a tremendous bike rider he is. The Belgian public doubted him earlier in the season, but why doubt a rider who is just pure class? He's going to head now to the podium with Valverde and Bosenhagen. And I don't think you're going to hear anything between here and Liège.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention for the award ceremony of the International Cycling Union Elite Men's World Road Championships.
So the top 3 riders make their way onto the podium. A massive crowd here in Valkenburg on the last day of the World Championships.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal, Alejandro Alejandro Valverde of Spain.
Valverde rode so well in the Vuelta a España. He takes third place and the bronze medal.
Mr. Pat McQuaid, president of the UCI.
De medaille wordt uitgereikt door de president van de UCI, Pat McQuaid.
Valverde is the bronze medalist of these World Championships.
De bloemen worden uitgereikt door Theo Bovens, de gouverneur van de provincie Limburg, ofwel de commissaris van de koningin.
In second place.
They all get on the podium too early. Why not just let them go?
Edvald Bosenhagen of Norway.
The silver medalist is Edvald Bosenhagen, the quiet assassin from Norway. So quietly spoken, but he is a fearsome bike rider.
Overhandigt het zilver.
Mr. Bovens will present the flowers.
De gouverneur van Limburg, Theo Bovens.
Singing has started in the background.
Mensen aan Edvald Boasson.
Wait for this reception.
In first place, winner of the gold medal and the rainbow jersey as the champion of the world, Philippe Gilbert of Belgium.
Philippe Gilbert is the world champion. He succeeds Tom Boonen as the last Belgian to win in 2005.
Presenting the jersey and the medal.
Meneer Pat McQuaid gaat de regenboogtrui om de schouders van Pat McQuaid en daarna volgt het goud.
He's just said to Pat McQuaid, I'm going to remember this moment for the rest of my life.
Thank you. En de gold heeft geweest.
Philippe Gilbert is the world champion.
En de bloemen van meneer Theo Bovens, de gouverneur van de koningin in Limburg.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Stand on the podium, please.
we will now play.
So now we have the national anthem of Belgium.
Als eerbetoon aan de wereldkampioen, het nationale volkslied van...
With Andreas clear behind him. Visconti is up near the front now for Italy.